So, you finished painting your ironjawz, but there is something not quite right. You want to take them just a little bit further just to really bring the orkiness out of them. Hello, my name's Kev and this is the Hobby Corner, and today we're going to be showing you some really simple, easy tips to make those orcs proper orky. Waaagh! Alright, so one of the easiest ways that we can enhance how these ironjawz look is just to give a little bit of weathering, really. And one of the ways you can do that is just to do little chips and a bit of battle damage here and there on the armor. Now I've got an old beat up dry brush. Oh, actually it's a base brush, but I use it as a little dry brush. It is a bit stiff because it's just clawed. It does need a good clean, but we don't really need it to be that amazing because we want to help stipple. Now you can do sponges or whatever, so what you want to do is get a little bit of the Abaddon black and you just get the worst stuff like that, and then you get a little bit of kitchen towel, kitchen paper, however you want to say it, tissue, either way, here's what it is, and just work into the bristles, but not too much. You still want to have a bit on there, so you do your knuckle test. If it seems a bit too dry, that might be a little bit too dry, so I'll just get a little bit more on there. Then there we go. Now what you want to do is all the areas that you know you're going to get battle damage, these are the areas that you want to target first. So the claw, 100%, look, it's covered in battle damage already. So the areas that would definitely get hit is the inner side of the claw, so you would stipple the black along there. Now what you're doing is you're creating the shadow part of the battle damage, okay? And you can paint it on, you can do the individual strands if you wish, the individual bits of battle damage. But this is like a quicker way if you got a lot to go through army wise and you just want to get some cool looking battle damage going on around, then that's the best way to do it. And you could just dot bits here and there, just remember where you have dotted it. Alright, so that's that bit done. It's already looking kind of awesome, right? So then once we properly rinse that brush and give it a real good dry, because we do want it dry, we then get a little bit of lead belcher, because this is painted armor after all, and most armor is in some sort of gunmetal or steel, so lead belcher is a good sort of middle ground for that. So again, we just do exactly the same, get the worst stuff on the palette, like that, dab it on the bit of paper, just make sure it's wet enough, not too dry, and then just over the areas that you had already put the black, you just stipple the silver back over it, just lightly, and what it will do, it will overlap on that slightly, so you got the shadow bit and then you got the raised battle damage bit, and little bits there and there. Okay, you could always just pick out the individual bits if you wish, but that just takes longer. But likewise, you can do it the old-fashioned way, which is get a small brush, get a nice point on it. Say you want to do like some battle damage here, yeah? Alright, so you paint that on there, like so. Okay. And then give that a good rinse. And then go back to your gunmetal. And then to one side, leaving some of that black behind, you would just paint into there, so you make sure some of the black is left behind, and it looks like there's a deep gouge with some of the thing showing. That's essentially different ways that you can explore a bit of battle damage on there. There's some other bits that we need to do, and of course it is the funky designs. Remember, they got like all these like flame looking design, right? So what you want to do with this, you know, water down some Abaddon black, and you do like a zigzag line like that, and you do a couple of those, and then what you do is you just fill it out slightly like so, and join them up. So they've got some cool jagged black lines on there, kind of looks like flames almost. And once you paint them on and you join them up, there you go, just connect it along there. And then if you wish, you can add the battle damage onto it afterwards. So you can do that sort of design anywhere on them, and they look pretty darn badass. So yeah, you could carry that along on the shins or whatever. If you're going to do weathering, it's more ideal that you do this first, because then you could do your highlight if you wish or whatever. Then we get to actual weathering as well. So get rid of that, get your soft brush. You want the Rhine Oxide or whichever base color that closely resembles the base you're going to do. Now the easiest way to do this is do it while you paint your base, because then as you're painting your base you can use the same colors at the same time. But let's just give you an idea. So say I painted the whole thing sterling mud, I'd have a bit of sterling mud on my brush still, and I'll just dry brush some of it onto the shins and the boots a little bit. This just to show how like some of it gets kicked up, especially in the battle where blood is spilled and or you've been traveling through wet muddy areas. So just sort of work on those low areas, and if you've got any rags as well, dirty up the base of those rags as well. So you just want to gently dry brush that in, and there you go. Not overpowering, it's a bit subtle, but that's how you want it. Okay, and then the highlight color that you would use for that, which is on that, is going to be Palace Witch Flesh, I believe. Or you could do Baneblade Brown, but I don't think that's going to come out too great. This is a great highlight anyway, because it closely matches the highlight of the armor, so it ties it all in very nicely. Just make sure that I've got a nice clean dry brush. There we go. So I get some of that Pallid Witch Flesh, dry it off, check my thumb, cool, and then I start stippling and dry brushing it onto the bits over the brown, and there you have it. So a little bit of weathering, you can go as heavy as you like, but I mean, I think it looks pretty cool, right? So there you go, some easy ways to do it. And then of course my favorite, all-time favorite thing to add, blood for the blood god. There we go, lovely jubbly. Now of course you're going to need an old beat up brush for this. You don't want to use your best one and this one does just fine. So pop a bit on the palette like that. Now there's ways you can darken it if you want it to look drier and congealed, but essentially you just get a nice blob on there like that, and you just streak it like that. Oh yeah, and then streak underneath as well. A little bit on the fist, because you know you get a bit mucky. Nice. And of course you'd have a bit of spatter over here as well. You get a little bit of spray like that. Now there are ways of making it stringy. You can add like PVA, Yoo-hoo glue. There's videos that I've done previously on it, but I mean that's pretty cool just as is. And again, spikes on here, you know, just you just whatever feels right. And as I said, if you darken it, it looks older, so get a bit of non-oil on it. There you go. See that you got a brown, even though it's black, it turns the Blood for the Blood God like a dark brown, which is a much more congealed look. And you could just pop this in the recesses like so. So it looks like it's stained with old blood. And of course, you'd have a bit on staining the handle and his fists. A little bit of spattering there. Yeah. And there you go, look. Effing J. Yeah. So there you go. And there you have it. With those simple tips and tricks, you can make them look just as awesome or even better. I'm pretty sure there are plenty of you guys out there who could do an amazing job and smash out the park. So don't forget to share your work over on the social media links down below. Make sure you hit that like, the subscribe button, leave a comment down below what you think, all that beautiful stuff that helps the algorithm, helps this video get seen by more people who need that help. And of course, if you want to help support the channel, there are a couple of affiliate links down below and the buy me a coffee link where you can sign up on a membership, kind of like Patreon, but a bit more accessible, and you get some fantastic perks exclusive to the memberships. So thank you again for watching. Stay safe, stay beautiful, big love to you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.